haven't really documented much this week. I've had a lot of meetings with banks regarding the loans. And I've had a lot of meetings with my accountant. It's just been nonstop. Plus I do have, I do hair at the salon, and I honestly, hate is a strong word, but I do not like doing any of the admin stuff. I'm more of like the creative, like I enjoy all the creative parts of it. In business, this part of stuff, I cannot stand. I can't stand it. It's so aggravating. Like email, all the admin stuff, like emailing, submitting paperwork, submitting proof of documents. Ugh. I'm so over it. And it's just the beginning. It's literally just the beginning. And I knew that this was going to happen. I knew that this was how it was going to be, but oh my gosh. I'm like, not. And when I don't want to do something, I feel like I just start dragging. Like, I don't know why. Like, I want to get it done, but for some reason, because I don't, is it this one? Because I don't enjoy this part of it, and I also, it says can't upload invoice. I'm also going back to one of the brands. Please try to upload files later. I'm so confused. It's definitely a PDF. So why is it not letting me? I'm like overwhelmed with all the admin part of stuff. So I'm at the point now where I'm at the point of like getting the loan. So I need to submit like all the financials. And that's not fun. It's the same thing for like the house. When you go to buy a house, like anything like with a big loan, you need to have like proof of your like income and tax returns and financials and all the paperwork for like the last 3 years. And then it's literally tax season right now. So I have to finish like 2025 because we just hit February of 26. So like we have to finalize all the taxes for 25. And I need to submit all this paperwork, but the 25 taxes are not done yet. And that's the best year for the business so far with income. So it's like an important year to add on to there. But yeah, so I'm sending over an invoice to a brand that never paid me for a brand deal because apparently I wrote something wrong. It's not even letting me upload the invoice. I did something wrong in the invoice, so I had to change the invoice to upload it to get paid because they're delayed on paying me like 2 weeks. So I need my money for that. Like, people don't really realize all the behind the scenes and all of this stuff and the emailing and the back and forth and the paperwork and the invoices and the due dates and the submissions and working with brands is so cool until you got to do all this behind the scenes stuff. But a lot of people do content and they're just content creators. But for the hair industry, we do content, we do our clients, right? So like a lot of people do content, but like doing content, but not on a client, I feel like is easier in a sense. So we do content regarding like our clients, most times. And then we have our clients, then we have the salon business, and then we have like the behind the scenes and the emailing and the back and forth and the signing of the documents and going over contracts. Like, you gotta know how to read legal contracts to know what you're agreeing to, not agreeing to. And then you gotta negotiate, like the back and forth negotiation between, like, if you and a brand are interested in working together, you gotta come to an agreement with like what you're gonna deliver and how much they're gonna pay you. And then after that, you have to, like, they send you like the actual, like what they would like you to create on. And then you have to, like, once you receive it, you have to say, thank you, I received it. And then when is the project due by? And then once the product is due, then you have to like create the content, and then you have to edit the content. And then after you edit the content, you have to submit the content to them, and you got to email them and be like, here's the content that I submitted. And then after they answer, then they tell you if it's good or not. And then sometimes there's like 2 or 3 revisions, so then you have to go back and fix anything that they tell you to fix. Thank God that does not happen to me a lot. But sometimes, like most times for me, the video is perfect, but they'll want me to like kind of change the way I said something, or like put something that's like in my voiceover that they want like earlier in the video, so like people can hear a certain part or a certain detail of the product in the beginning versus later in the video. So then they approve if it's good or not. Like you have to like fix the voiceover, fix the video. Thank God for me, it's like I went how to fix the voiceover a few times. Then after they approve it, then they give you a date to go live, and then you have to approve if you can go live on that date. And then after you go live on that date, then you had to send the invoice. Once you go live, you have to send the invoice to the brand so that they can pay you. Then after you send the invoice, you have to wait like 30 to 45 days net. So like from the day that you post the content, you'll get paid 30 to 45 days later, depending on the brand and the agreement and when they pay you. And then you got to make sure that 30 to 40 days later, you're checking that money to make sure that they paid you when you were supposed to get paid. So then times that, which is all a blessing, but it's just to show like the reality of behind the scenes of it all. Then after that, you have to make sure that they like go 30, 40 days, like whenever it's due, like I have to have a reminder on my phone, on my email, or on whatever, letting me know like, hey, double check that you got paid from such and such. And then if you didn't get paid, you got to reach back out to them and say, where my money at? You know? And then, yeah, you have to do that. So that's basically what happened. That's how it goes. And then times that by like 3, 4 brands, 5 brands that you're working with. And then 2, when you have a lot of brands that you're working with, you have to check like, what's the exclusivity? So how long do they not want you to talk about another brand when they're talking about, when you're talking, like, you know, like it'll be like, if you post our video, you can't talk about another hair color brand or promote any other brand that's similar to our brand with 2 days before or 2 days after, or 1 day before or 1 day after. And then some brands, they have like no exclusivity. So like that's important. So when you have 4 or 5 of them happening around the same time, you got to make sure that you spread out the dates to make sure that the exclusivity, like you're not talking about a brand that'll overlap with the days of the other brand. And these are all blessings and good problems to have. But what I like to do is be the creative director. I like to create the content. I don't mind the editing part. Like it's a lot of work, but like, I don't mind that part. I don't mind like reading the brief and being like, oh, what do I want to come up with creatively? And then coming up with the video, coming up with the edit, editing it. And then here you go, it's submitted. I don't mind that part. The part that drives me bazonkers, which is why I hired somebody to help me do this part, is the emailing. The emailing back and forth, the back and forth, and all that. It's just, I know how to do it. I did it for a whole year before I hired anybody, but I don't like it. And even with hiring somebody, like sometimes there's still things that I have to go in and check because like my bank account and my money. So I have to go and check it. But now with this whole build out of the salon and everything going on, I have all that happening, but at the same time I have this build out. So now I have to like be in contact with the banks and have to submit all this paperwork. And then once you submit all the paperwork, everybody starts emailing you back and calling you back. And then you have to reply to like 3 or 4 people because we have to see which bank will give me the best rates, the best everything. Then I'm going to have to decide which bank I want to go with, and then we move on from there. In that whole process, I have the loan and I'm negotiating, not the loan. In that whole process, I have the landlord and the back and forth with the landlord, and I'm negotiating the terms for like what I'm going to ask for the lease. Like how much time of like, do I have to like not pay rent while I'm building out the space and all that. So that's what's been going on this week. Well, the brand deals and stuff, that's kind of, thank God, that's always happening. And like I said, now I do have somebody to take on like 90% of that load. Like it's been a big help. So, but like this part of stuff, like the loan stuff and the back and forth and the companies and then the contractor and the general contractor. And thank God I have a general contractor. So he's going to handle all that. But then he goes to the township, he gets information, and then he calls me to let me know that we need XYZ. And I have to call State Board of Cosmetology because I need to get their paperwork and get all their stuff done so that when the build out is done and everything, we can have inspection. So, and then this is where people go, you only do hair 3 days a week? What do you do on your days off? Baby girl, there ain't no days off over here. There ain't no days off. No days off. Like, I'm literally not even kidding. I think the only day I really take off is Sunday, and Sunday we have church day, and so that's still like a commitment and something to do. But that's the only day that like I'm not focused on work. Like I was like, I don't want to hear about it. And in the middle of all that, you have clients that are like texting you, I can't get in. Can you squeeze me in? Can I get an appointment? What's your schedule like? The booking system's not working. I can't make an appointment. All that. So, I've been working on the loans back and forth with banks and all that this week. So that's what I've been up to in the process of everything else. And I don't like it. I really don't like it. I don't like it at all. Like, I know how to do it, thank God, but like to get it all done and like, you know, download the files, like I know how to do it. I'm good at it. Like I can get it done. But this is a part of business I cannot stand. I cannot stand it. It drives me zonkers. But it got to be done. Can't build an empire and only be creative and do the creative part and not do the business part of things, right? So this is where I'm like hiring, delegating, and having people like, you know, take the load off so I can buy back my time to do the creative stuff and do the stuff and the classes and all that stuff that like actually moves the needle and builds a business and brings in money. And it's my passion to be creative, to help people, to teach people, to coach people, all that stuff. And I love business, right? This is also my passion. Like the whole thing is my passion. But the paperwork and the this part that I have to do this whole week, I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. Like I really, really don't enjoy this. I wish my husband was good at this part of stuff. Because then I could just be the creative and I could be the one with all the ideas and I could be the one like with the ideas to build a business and, you know, all that stuff. But then he could be the one doing like all the admin stuff. But no, I was blessed with the ability to do it all. So even when you don't like to do things, you have to do the things you don't like because it's part of the bigger picture. So that's my update. And I have to submit all this stuff right now. And then you have all this stuff to do because you have to submit all this and then it's not like it's done. Because shortly after, everyone's going to start emailing you back. And then you got to email everybody. But the good thing is that once, like, this is the part that's, like, so aggravating, like, having to go into all my tax stuff and all my financials and go into the bank and go into here and go into there and get them everything that they need. And then I have a meeting with my accountant. But getting everything that they need and submitting it is going to be the worst of it. So if I can get this done today, I think that's the worst of it. And then the rest of it is just back and forth and negotiation. And it's not that bad. But having to get all these files and submit the paperwork and get all these documents I don't like it. I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. I wish somebody else could do this part for me. All right, let me stop complaining and get to it. I'll see you guys in the next story. Bye.